MinutemanHealth.org. By the CIP Group. Visit www.askcip.com. And by Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts. Visit rocklandtrust.com for more info. The NWSL is brought to you by the National Guard, by Nike, and by the U.S. Soccer Foundation. Stadium. Welcome back inside Harvard Stadium. Just a couple moments away from the opening kickoff. The Spirit and the Breakers. The Spirit at 6-4-1. Currently tied for third place in the NWSL with 19 points. The Breakers at the bottom of the standings at 2-8-0. Let's go through the starting lineups for tonight's matchup. First for the visiting Spirit. On defense, they go with Bianca Sierra, Tori Huster, Robin Gale, and Veronica Perez. Midfielders, Yael Averbush, Lori Lindsay, Christine Nairn, and Diana Matheson. Forwards for Washington, Renee Cuellar and Denisha Adams. And making her first appearance in goal of the season for Washington will be Chantel Jones. As we mentioned in the pregame, Ashlyn Harris away on national team duty, as is Allie Krieger. Crystal Dunn also not available for the Spirit. Washington has made a couple of call-ups to the roster as well. They're also awaiting a couple of European players to be cleared. Defenders Nikki Cross and Alex Singer, hopeful to join the team very soon. Now for the Boston Breakers, their starting lineup on defense, Courtney Jones, Kat Whitehill, and Julie King. Midfielders, Joanna Lohman, Maddie Evans, and Nikki Washington. And the forwards for Boston, Jasmine Reeves, Katie Schepfer, and Molly Pathman, with Alyssa Nair in goal, making her 11th start. You see the goals against average. She does rank second in the league with 42 saves. And just before we came back, before the kickoff here, we learned that Lisa Devanna will not be available tonight for Boston. So the Breakers without Devanna now, as well as Heather O'Reilly, Leanne Sanderson, and Christy Mewis. Those three on national team duty. So the referees for tonight's matchup. So Catherine, Breakers lineup, we saw a couple weeks ago, they made changes to get things going against Portland. Now today it's a much different lineup, but more so be forced to have a much different lineup when you have players away on national team duty.
Yeah, like you said, last time they kind of needed to change something out of desperation, and they put a lot of their young guns in there, and they definitely had that spark we were talking about that they'd been missing, and they came away with the win. They went back to the, I guess, quote-unquote normal starting lineup the next game. They weren't as fortunate, so tonight is once again an opportunity for people who don't normally start or aren't in the starting 11 on this team to prove themselves and earn a permanent position there.
Breakers fell at Kansas City last Saturday 2-0. A pair of penalty kick goals scored by Lauren Holiday in that one for FC Casey. And Washington last played a week ago today at Chicago, a 1-0 win, and Jody Taylor scored the game-winning goal in the 78th minute. We highlighted in the open that Taylor has scored 3 consecutive goals for Washington. She had the 2 straight in the second half to beat Boston back on June 1st before the winner at Chicago last Wednesday. Spirit won that game in Boston 3-2, and we are underway tonight at Harvard Stadium. The Spirit moving right to left in the white uniforms. Breakers, of course, in the blue, going left to right. Alongside Catherine Donnelly, I'm Scott Sudikoff. We thank you for tuning in. One of 2 games on the NWSL schedule today. The other one, Western New York taking on Houston in Houston. Bianca Sierra has trouble with it. Schepfer able to make the steal. Now on the near side, Jasmine Reeves enters the box trying to cross it. Blocked down and goes out of bounds off of Sierra. It'll be a corner kick for Boston less than a minute in. Remember, Reeves in her first start as a Breaker scored 3 goals on 3 shots against Portland. Courtney Jones with the corner kick. Jones sends it into the box. The header goes up high over the crossbar by Julie King.
Julie King is always one to be aggressive in the box with her header. She wins almost every 50-50 ball in the air. She's great there for them.
She's such a consistent player for the Breakers the last couple of years. 21 starts last year. Has played every single second so far of this season. Bounces free for Joanna Lohman. Now plays it back for Kat Whitehill. Maddie Evans plays it out wide. Molly Pathman overlapping. Cross into the box. Gets cleared out. It'll be a Boston throw-in. Breakers are 2-5-0 at home. Both of the wins on the season have come here. Kem Ezerike angled it towards Schepfer, bounces around, now comes out. Nikki Washington up to play it. Washington crosses it towards the far post. And it'll go straight out for a goal kick. But the Breakers, so far, the early pressure in the first 2.5 minutes. Spirit have won 3 in a row, 4 of 5, unbeaten in the last 5. Had a tie against Sky Blue back on May 21st in between the victories.
There we see Courtney Jones actually in the midfield this game. She's been playing a little bit of everywhere this season so far. She started as a defender, moved up to a forward, and today she's in a central midfield role.
Maddie Evans able to steal that one away momentarily against Lori Lindsay, and then picks up the foul.
Quick restart by the Spirit here.
Alyssa Nair will pick it up. Mentioned 42 saves, second in the league. She had to face 2 penalty kicks on Saturday against Kansas City, and Lauren Holiday beating her on both of them for the 2-0 FC Kansas City win. Schepfer plays it back for Washington, serves it ahead for Ezerike. Her header angles it into the box for Tori Huster. Will knock it out of play.
Ezerike, of course, last time she started the game against Portland, she scored one of her first touches in the game in the first few minutes, her first goal, her first pro goal. So we'll see if she can get her second pro goal tonight.
Yeah, less than 2 minutes in against Portland. Breakers got on the board en route to that 4-1 victory. The other 3 goals scored by Jasmine Reeves. Reeves had the assist on the Ezerike goal, so they're back together right now in the starting lineup tonight. Partly out of necessity. U.S. national team will, of course, play France on Saturday, June 14th, down in Tampa. And then they'll play France again a week from tomorrow, June 19th, in Hartford. Denisha Adams, the throw-in for Washington. Matheson couldn't control it there for the Spirit, so it'll be a goal kick for Alyssa Nair. As Enrique trying to turn upfield. Foul goes on the Spirit.
She does a nice job earning that foul there. She's definitely got the size up front that the Breakers need, and she does a good job using her body to protect herself. So, first free kick for the Breakers here, Kat Whitehill.
Whitehill towards the box, right at the top of it. And now a throw-in coming up on the near side for the Breakers. Shepfer try to get it to Reeves. Comes back out. Joanna Lohman plays it out wide. Molly Pathman steps up for it. Pathman with the cross. And up there to make the play, Chantel Jones, playing in her first game of the season. 25-year-old keeper from Virginia. King to Shepfer. Ahead, Reeves was the intended target. Defense there by Robin Gale. Here come the Spirit on the counterattack. Shepfer gets to it and clears it out with her left foot. And now a race back for the ball. Chantel Jones will let it come to her. In the 9th minute, no score. Breakers in Spirit at Harvard Stadium in Boston. Second game between these two teams in 10 days. Back on June 1st, Washington won 3-2 here at Harvard Stadium. Spirit in the midst of 4 games on the road in a row. They've won the first 2. They'll play at Portland this coming Sunday before wrapping it up. Actually, excuse me, this is the 3rd game of the 4-game trip. Then they will wrap it up against Portland on Sunday before going home to play Portland again. Reeves plays it into space, lets Washington go for it. Nikki Washington able to get it by Perez momentarily. It'll be a throw-in for the Breakers. Reeves, cross, as Enrique was in the vicinity. Tangled up with Denisha Adams.
Reeves did a good job there of turning and just getting that off one time there. And Ezerike was very close to that one, looking for her second goal, like I said.
Ezerike playing in her 5th game overall, making her 2nd start. 22-year-old rookie from the University of Michigan. Denisha Adams with the ball right now for Washington. Whitehill all the way to the other side of the field for Shepfer, able to gain control. Left foot up over the crossbar.
And like I've mentioned for the past few games about Shepford, she's dangerous anywhere outside the box there. She has a long-range shot, and it's a rocket. So Spirit have to be careful with her anywhere outside of the box there because she can let one go.
So just over 11 minutes in, and all of the offensive pressure has come from Boston. As Rike after it on the sideline, gets to it. Did not, excuse me. Was out. Washington throwing.
Fans watching at home, of course, notice that the Breakers have switched benches again for the second straight home game. They're on our far side. Normally they're on the left side. They're on the right bench this time again.
Whistle foul on Washington. Looked like it got the piece of someone's arm.
Lohman will be on this free kick for the Breakers.
And a whistle, and looks like we will do it over. So Joanna Lohman sets it up once again. Chips it to the middle of the box. And a whistle goes against Boston.
The Breakers were unfortunate last game at Kansas City. They had two fouls in their own box, obviously, to get the 2 penalty kicks, which is where the 2 goals came from last week in the 2-0 loss.
Breakers again shut out in that game against Kansas City. They've been shut out 4 times this year. Spirit coming off of a shutout of their own, 1-0 over Chicago. In fact, Spirit have a pair of 1-0 shutouts over Chicago this year for their 2 shutouts overall. Race for the ball, Jasmine Reeves able to beat Sierra to it, and then Sierra took it away. Reeves, the rookie out of Virginia Tech from San Bernardino, California. Nikki Washington, acquired from Houston earlier in the year, throws it in towards Ezerike. King will step up. Got bumped there from behind. Courtney Jones gets it to Maddie Evans, and her shot right on goal there. Maddie Evans was probable coming into today's game with a groin strain, but in the starting lineup. Matheson double teamed, and now we'll go retrieve the ball for the Spirit. Matheson 5 goals on the year, second most on the team. Jody Taylor with those 3 straight now has 6 to lead the Spirit and is 3rd in the league in goals with the 6. Kim Little is a pretty good lead on top with 11. Seattle and Kansas City's Amy Rodriguez with 9 goals is second in the NWSL. Averbush trying to go down the seam there, but nobody making a run.
Nice job by Maddie Evans to keep that ball there. That's something that Coach Durkin's been really high on her. She's has such a great work ethic. Excuse me.
King able to keep that one away from Matheson. Perez will play it out of bounds. Boston throwing. Washington into Shepfer. Spirit are 3-2 on the road this year. 2 wins in a row on this road trip. Shepfer to Reeves. Looking for the cross and knocked out by Robin Gale, so it'll be a corner kick for the second time tonight for Boston.
Courtney Jones will once again be taking it for Boston.
Bounces down as Enrique.
They earn another corner kick there.
Goes off a Washington player, so the corner kick happens again, this time on the other side of the field. Jones curls it in. And that header goes up high. Maddie Evans was the one able to get her head on it, but too high up over the crossbar. Goal kick now for Chantel Jones. Again, if you're just tuning in, the Spirit without Allie Krieger, Ashlyn Harris, Crystal Dunn. Boston without Heather O'Reilly, Leanne Sanderson, and Christy Mewis. All away on national team duty. Shepfer along for Reeves, one touch to Jones, and try to get it through to Ezerike. That would have been golden opportunity if it had gotten its way through. Huster had Reeves bearing down on her. She played it back to Jones. Averbush with the left foot. With some touch down the sideline. Connects with the pass to Sierra. Gets by Nikki Washington. Julie King comes over for support. The cross. And Renee Cuellar in the vicinity, but got bumped off the play. Breakers now trying to come on the counterattack. Reeves. Ezerike turns back to her right. Plays it out wide. Courtney Jones. Blocks out by Gale, and it'll be a fourth corner kick for Boston.
That was a great turn by Ezerike, though. Nice vision there to find that through ball. Earns Boston another corner kick. Courtney Jones on it once again.
Whitehill punched out by Jones. And now Denisha Adams will just clear it away. This is a Spirit team thin on the back line today. Without Allie Krieger and Crystal Dunn. A pair of defenders who have not been cleared to play just yet. And Nikki Cross and Alex Singer. Breakers testing them early. And of course, Washington without their goalkeeper, Ashlyn Harris, as well. Christine Nairn. Matheson gets tripped up right there at midfield, but contact with the ball was made first.
And just going back to the Washington backline, you know, obviously they've had great success the past few games, and if there is a weak link, their backline has given up 20 goals. I know they've scored 21, but their backline has given up 20 goals. So if there is a weak point, I guess, like you said, they just have to work on their back line, stay as a unit more so.
Definitely one of the interesting stats with Washington tied for third place. Just the +1 goal differential, the 20 goals allowed. You see Chicago, the team that they're tied with for third, is a +6 with 10 goals allowed. Seattle leads the league, as you would guess, at 9-0-2 with a +16, 9 goals surrendered on the year. 9 goals allowed in 11 games. Washington's normal keeper, Ashlyn Harris, 2 shutouts on the year. Kansas City's Nicole Barnhart leads the NWSL with 5 clean sheets. Kansas City in second place at 6-4-3, 21 points. Towards Ezerique, too far up over her head. Goal kick upcoming. Katie Schepfer, a little extra contact on the play down there. Getting a talking to from the head referee, but no card.
Julie King once again with a header win there.
Ezerique trying to fight through 2 Spirit players. Comes out for Perez. Now, Jasmine Reeves. Tori Huster with the defensive play. Goal kick once again for Chantel Jones. Alongside Catherine Donnelly, I'm Scott Sudikoff. We're at Harvard Stadium in Boston, the Spirit and the Breakers. Second of 3 meetings this year for the 2 teams. They'll play in Maryland on July 2nd to wrap up the season series. Breakers next in action next Thursday against Seattle here at Harvard Stadium. Washington will play at Portland this coming Sunday.
Nice little 1-2 by the Spirit here to create something.
A cross blocked by King, but the Spirit will have their first corner kick of the day. Christine Nairn, 3 goals, 1 assist on the year for the 23-year-old. From Annapolis, Maryland, home of the Naval Academy. She'll set things up with the left foot. It comes down to Denisha Adams all the way through Averbush and try to hook it in that post. Sent it wide and far out of play. Averbush gives it up to the middle of the field. Now Lori Lindsay sends it out wide. Diana Matheson with Pathman there. Plays it away from Pathman. Try to get it through to Cuellar. Cleared out from the box. Tanisha Adams the throw-in. Robin Gale stepping up, falls down. Ezerike able to play it forward. Reeves goes after it with Huster. Breakers throw in upcoming. Molly Pathman coming up to do the honors. Bounces it into the box as Ezerike turns to her left with a shot. Goes far. Almost 27 minutes in. Breakers have had the better of the chances so far. Had 4 corner kicks. Washington's had 1.
Another throw in for Boston here.
Comes back to Huster. She'll use her keeper. And then goes right back out of bounds for another Boston throw-in. Nikki Washington creeping up the sideline, finally makes the throw-in for Reeves. Turns to her right foot with Averbush tracking her down. Fifth corner kick now for Boston. Courtney Jones sends it to the far side. Whitehill with a left foot deflects out. Corner kick on the opposite side for the 6th time now. Chantel Jones able to get up and reach that one.
Great reach by her there.
So nothing doing on that exchange for Boston. Washington gets knocked down by Cuellar. Play continues. Ezerike lost it. Now Christine Nairn connects with Adams. Matheson back to Adams. Matheson can't keep it alive, and the Breakers get possession back. Lohman takes it from Nairn. Lohman looking for a chance. It got knocked down by Adams, taken back by the Spirit. Play has been disjointed for a while so far. Now Jones gets it back. Schepfer. Reeves tangled up with Adams. Just incidental, the legs getting caught up. Hasn't been pretty for the last couple of minutes. Lindsay. Cuellar trying to turn against Whitehill to the outside. Molly Pathman comes over. Washington will keep possession with a throw-in. We work in the 31st minute. Matheson tied for 4th in the league in goals with the 5. Adams makes the throw-in. Cuellar Turns with the right foot. Goes up on top of the goal. Catherine with the Breakers not playing without, you could argue, or maybe not argue, their two best players, O'Reilly and Sanderson, offensively. What have you seen in terms of them trying to get offense going? They've done it, obviously, without them, that one game against Portland.
Right, yeah, that one game was the spark that we've been talking about all season long. They definitely had that. They scored in the first few minutes. We haven't seen quite that spark here tonight. The team's working hard, though, but like you said, Sanderson scored both of the goals for the Breakers last time these two teams met. So, like we talked about in the pregame, Lisa Devanna, I would say, would have been the player to watch this game. She's obviously not in the field right now, so, you know, we have 10 players on the field that can step up and do something here. Maddie Evans is a workhorse, like I was saying. Katie Schepfer has that rocket shot from outside the box. I think that they have the tools that they need to put something together here. I think the possession has been in their favor for a majority of this game. They've been doing a good job blinking in the final third. They just have to put one away to start that momentum, of course.
Again, we mentioned Boston without players, Washington without players as well. Krieger, Dunn, and Ashlyn Harris.
I think this game is, just like last game, is a battle between these two teams. I think they're both kind of looking for their identities. The Spirit struggled towards the beginning of their season. Obviously, they've kind of found their rhythm the past few games, but they've had lineup changes as well. They've changed formations a lot. They even went to 3-back at one point, and they've had players come in and out, injuries. Same thing. They've obviously, like I said, found their rhythm a little bit more than the Breakers, but I think it's always a battle between these two teams, so it'll be evenly matched the whole game, I think.
Washington trying to win its fourth consecutive game. They have won 4 of 5 already, unbeaten in those 5. Started the year at 2-4. And now at 6-4-1. Nikki Washington crosses it right to Chantel Jones. Kemezarike was heading towards the top of the 6, trying to get to it. One other game tonight, Western New York at Houston. Houston right now in 7th place, tied for 7th with Sky Blue at 3-7-1. As Enrique slow to get up for the Breakers. Perez with the one touch for Nairn. And now Perez steps up to take the pass back. For Nairn. Sends it up high. Christine Nairn has scored 3 goals on the season. Try for that 4th one in the 35th minute. Schepfer kept it away. Julie King steps up across midfield. Connects to Jones. Pass didn't get through to Reeves. Bounces to Huster. Averbush gets it away before Jones got to her. Now Denisha Adams on the far side. That deflects off of Whitehill. Washington throwing.
Whitehill being the only other player besides King, as you mentioned before, to play every minute of every game this season so far. 2 center backs right now.
Whitehill also serves as an assistant coach for the Breakers and was interim head coach for the final month of last year. Tanisha Adams down, slow to get up for Washington. As Enrique trying to go to Reeves. Nairn able to get away from Evans.
Great turn by her there.
Starts up the field. Switches sides with it. And that's Perez who can't control it. We're in the 37th minute, 0-0 the score, and neither team has come all that close just yet. I've had a couple of shots go up high over a crossbar. Breakers have had 6 corner kicks. Washington's had 1. Skied into the box. Huster lets it bounce out. Chantel Jones listed as 5'11". Obviously helps.
Yep.
Some of those high shots towards the crossbar. Alyssa Nair, by comparison, 5'9". Matheson, the cross, and Nair trying to keep it in play there. It would have been a corner kick if it went out. Great play, heads up by Alyssa Nair. Outlets it ahead for Schepfer. Has Jones to her right, Reeves out in front. Jones to Reeves. Serves it towards the goal line. But right there for Chantel Jones.
CCG is a proud sponsor and official IT services provider of your Boston Breakers. As a leading IT services provider and an active member of the community, CCG is very happy to support the Breakers.
Perez plays it along for Adams. Now Averbush with Jones on her. Matheson, nice play back to Averbush. The return, and Matheson kept it alive. Evans finds Reeves. Ezerike coming up the middle of the field. Schepfer into the box. Looks for a shot with the left foot. Didn't have the curl on it. Ezerike and Washington. Nikki Washington for the Breakers. Bringing it out wide. Dancing around in the corner. A foul will go on the Spirit. Veronica Perez.
Looks like Courtney Jones is once again coming over to take this. Obviously, this will be similar to a corner kick situation.
Jones. It was low. It's headed out. Breakers, though, keeping control. Lohman. Now for Molly Pathman. Pathman with the left foot. Jones, Chantel Jones coming far out from her line there. Taken back by Reeves. Pathman maneuvers her way. A pass to Shepford. She scores.
That was just a great build-up by Boston. A lot of great effort on a few different players there to create that opportunity, and that one gets put away.
In the 42nd minute, Boston gets on the board, and Katie Shepford scores her first of the season. Molly Pathman doing a lot of the work. And then Shepford with a left foot, just a quick first-time shot by Jones. 1-0 Boston. First assist for Pathman, first goal for Shepford. We must mention Boston led Washington 1-0, 2-1. Just 10 days ago before the Spirit won the game 3-2. So for Washington, they're probably not too intimidated by the score right now. I know that they can come back against this Breakers team. Have already done it.
And that's obviously something we've talked about with the Breakers all season long, is being able to close out games and play the full 90 minutes. And so far tonight, I think the defense has been really strong on their end. I know one of their goals is obviously to reduce the mistakes in the back.
Reeves a lot of space. Got it towards Ezerike. The loose ball and another goal. This time it's Courtney Jones. As you were saying,
I was
Catherine.
praising the defense on the Breaker side, and they score a second goal of the game. So both ends are looking up tonight.
Jasmine Reeves, plenty of room. Finds Ezerike. Jones makes a great save initially, and then Courtney Jones finds the loose ball to put it home for her second goal of the season. So about a minute apart, the Breakers scored 2 in a row. Katie Shepford and Courtney Jones.
The Spirit huddled up right now, just trying to go over some things and close out this half, obviously. Not letting anything up and try and get one in the last few minutes to bring themselves within one goal. And like I told you last game, 2-0 is the scariest lead to have in soccer. You might not think so, but some people do. I do.
I just tend to think I would rather be up by 2 goals than 1 goal at any point in the game. But I do understand some of the rationale behind it. Courtney Jones scores. A minute separation from the goal by Katie Shepford. 42nd and 43rd minute. And the Breakers, the 2-0 lead.
Ezerike using her size there again to win the ball. She does a good job of that.
Jasmine Reeves trying to go to Lohman. Lori Lindsay stepped right in front to take it away, but back to Lohman now. Molly Pathman, who had the assist on the Shepford goal. Trying to give to Maddie Evans. So we'll be entering stoppage time now. It'll be 1 minute of extra time in the first half. Surprising that the former player would push the 2-0 lead as the most dangerous lead in soccer, because it's normally the other way around, where the play-by-play, the stat geek, is the one who points out, oh, 2-0, and all these stats I throw out at you, percent of the time they lose the lead. Usually the player just says, well,
I guess
we'd
that's
rather
just
be
kind
up.
of instilled in your head. Once you go up 2-0, you know, that next goal is either. I shouldn't say it's the scariest lead. I should say the next goal is the most important one, because if you're scoring it, you're up 3-0. You give it up, it's 2-1.
Reeves onside and almost made it 3-0. And that would be less scary than
Exactly.
2-0, I guess.
Exactly.
As we are in the minute of stoppage time, almost all the way through it. the final whistle of the first half. And the Breakers will enter halftime with a 2-0 lead. Katie Schepfer in the 42nd minute scoring from Molly Pathman. And then the 43rd minute, Courtney Jones, an unassisted goal for the Breakers. And so Boston leads Washington 2-0 after 1 half of play. We'll take a break, come back, and have highlights, stats, in the second half of action for you live from Harvard Stadium. 2-0 Breakers lead the Spirit.
Visit nwslsoccer.com for all your updated league information, team standings, and more. nwslsoccer.com provides fans with the latest news, scores, and information on all your favorite players and clubs. Visit nwslsoccer.com today. Is your company concerned about the cost and regulations surrounding your medical insurance and 401k plan? Contact the CIT Group, a proud partner of the Boston Breakers, and let their team of advisors help you navigate the regulatory environment and maximize your employee benefit dollars. Visit AskCIT.com. Fans, be sure to follow @Nike Soccer on Twitter, or visit NikeSoccer.com for all the latest news and information on Nike Soccer products. A small incision makes a huge difference. At Stewart Centers for Advanced Cardiac Surgery and Training in St. Elizabeth, their team of expert surgeons offers the broadest array of conventional and minimally invasive cardiac surgery options. Some so innovative, they're not done anywhere else in New England, making St. Elizabeth Center the region's fastest growing cardiac center and earning us a national reputation as one of the top hospitals for cardiac care. Visit stewart.org/cardiac or call 617-789-2045. Stewart Health, the title sponsor of your Boston Breakers. The University Sports Complex, a partner of the Boston Breakers, is the largest sports facility in all of New England. The university is home to various sports camps, fitness classes, adult and youth sports leagues, birthday parties, and more. Visit www.theuhanover.com for more information. Aflac is a proud partner of the Boston Breakers and an extra measure of financial protection. Major Medical pays the doctors and hospitals, but when you're sick or hurt, Aflac pays cash benefits directly to you. And when you have an Aflac policy, it's yours. Even if you change jobs or retire, you can take your Aflac policy with you. For more information, visit Aflac.com. Cat Sports Performance Center is the official performance training provider of your Boston Breakers. Visit catsports.com for location information or to set up a free trial training session. Cats is where the athletes and the Breakers train. TCG is a proud sponsor and the official IT services provider of your Boston Breakers. As a leading New England IT services provider and an active member of the community, TCG is very happy to support the Breakers every season. Check them out at www.tcgns.com or call 866-TCG-NETW for outstanding service and support. Bertucci is a proud partner and sponsor of your Boston Breakers. Be sure to visit Bertucci's at LY Station after tonight's game at 5 Cambridge Park Drive. If you present your Breakers ticket with the purchase of any specialty pizza, you can receive one large, one topping pizza for free. Soccer is proud to partner with the Boston Breakers for their 2014 campaign. We Got Soccer is the nation's largest soccer specialty store and is your service for all your soccer needs. Visit our We Got Soccer flagship retail store in Foxborough or shop us online for the greatest selection of soccer gear and apparel. You live it, you love it, you play it. We Got Soccer has it. Visit us at WeGotSoccer.com. St. Elizabeth's Medical Center, a Stewart Family Hospital, is a proud sponsor and the official MRI and imaging provider of your Boston Breakers. Rockland Trust, a proud sponsor of the Boston Breakers, is a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts. At Rockland Trust, each relationship matters, and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
Boston Breakers Soccer is brought to you by Stewart Health, the title sponsor of the Boston Breakers. Visit stewart.org for more information. By Cat Sports Performance Center, the official performance training provider of the Breakers. Visit catsports.com for more info. By TCG Network Services, the official IT service provider of the Breakers. Check out tcgns.com for more. By Bertucci's, a proud partner and the official restaurant of the Boston Breakers. By We Got Soccer, the nation's largest soccer specialty store. Visit wegotsoccer.com for more info. By the University Sports Complex, the largest sports facility in all of New England. Visit uhanover.com for more info. By Minuteman Health, a health insurance company governed by you. Learn how to enroll at minutemanhealth.org. By the CIP Group, visit www.askcip.com. And by Rockland Trust, a community bank serving families and businesses throughout Massachusetts. Visit rocklandtrust.com for more info. The NWSL is brought to you by the National Guard, by Nike, and by the U.S. Soccer Foundation. The broadcast of this match is authorized by the Boston Breakers. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of any image, sound, account, or description without express written permission of the club is strictly prohibited. Tonight's match was produced by Turbo Sports Group, the official video streaming production company of the Breakers. We're back here in Boston. Halftime wrapping up. The score, Boston 2, Washington 0. Both goals for the Breakers coming in the final minutes of the first half of play. Take a look at the first one. Molly Pathman set up the opportunity and found Katie Schepfer for the one-touch score. And then a minute later, in the 43rd minute, Jasmine Reeves trying to get it to Kim Ezerike. Well, she got it to her. Chantel Jones made the initial save, but Courtney Jones finished off the rebound, and that made it 2-0 Breakers. And that is the score as the second half is about to begin in Boston. Alongside former Breaker Catherine Donnelly, I'm Scott Sudikoff. We thank you for tuning in tonight. We'll see if the Breakers can hold on to this 2-0 lead as Jody Taylor has entered the match to begin the second half for Washington, replacing Veronica Perez. We highlighted Taylor in the open. She has scored 3 consecutive goals for the Spirit. Back-to-back games with the game winner. 2 here in Boston back on June 1st to turn a 2-1 Washington deficit into a 3-2 Spirit win. And then in the 78th minute last week against Chicago, she scored the winner. Molly Pathman, who had the assist on the Shepford goal, has the ball. Has her cross blocked down.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Substitution for Washington. In the 46th
Joanna Lohman, the only one in the vicinity to grab the ball for Boston. Courtney Jones to Ezerique. Ezerique on her left foot, trying to get it through to Reeves. And back, a long-range shot goes off the crossbar. Katie Shepfer.
And that's that long-range shot that I was talking about. She's a threat anywhere outside of the box with that
It's about
rocket.
35 yards away from the goal line.
Yep.
So just underway in the second half. The Breakers scored in the 42nd and 43rd minute to have this 2-0 lead. No changes for the Breakers on the field in the second half. And mentioned Jody Taylor has come on for Washington. Taylor third in the league in goals with the 6.
Shepford forcing that one just a little bit. And she knew it too.
Played back for Cuellar. Now Nairn. Lori Lindsay. Spirit looking for some room. Breakers chase. Robin Gale will use her keeper.
Nice turn, just no one there for her there.
Evans sends it to the opposite side. Nikki Washington settles it down. Julie King. Take the space given to her, moving upfield. Plays it into space.
I think Ezerique thought she was offsides there, so she held up a little bit.
See the shot from Shepfer that just went off the crossbar.
And that's the strong start that the Breakers want, obviously, to come out in this second half. Again, we've talked about playing the full 90 minutes here. Their defense did a great job in the first half. Let's see if they can close this game out for the Breakers. Obviously, on the other side, the Spirit are no strangers to come back, so should be an interesting 45 minutes here.
Reeves was there in the box, and Robin Gale made sure she couldn't get a shot away. Back out again. Nikki Washington will have another throw-in. Spirit looking for some offense. Cuellar has Evans chasing after. Molly Pathman cuts off the angle.
And there's that effort from Maddie Evans that coach has been talking about, obviously sprinting back all the way from the midway line there to help Pathman out.
Still Washington possession. And now it'll be a Boston throw-in right in that corner. Pathman, her first point of the season on the assist on the Shepfer goal in the 42nd minute. Tanisha Adams serves it into the box. Knocked out by Lohman. Nairn. And that pass there, Jody Taylor. So Taylor, the winner against Chicago and the winner against Boston 10 days ago. Coming on here to begin the second half.
So on the season, she has 6 goals total, which is good for 3rd in the league, I believe.
Yeah, she has moved up the ranks over the last couple of games.
Yeah.
Also leads the Spirit as a team as well. Diana Matheson checks in at second with 5. Maddie Evans for the Breakers. Maneuvers to the middle of the field. Left foot had Ezerike in the area. Pathman gains the corner kick for Boston. Courtney Jones has been on all of the corner kicks so far for Boston. Also scored her 2nd goal of the season tonight. She had 4 goals last year for FC Kansas City. And 2 years ago, played with the Breakers.
Yep, she came here out of UNC where she was a forward. And she won 2 national championships there with the Tar Heels before starting with the Breakers.
You know, they've had pretty good success over there
I'd
in North
say.
Carolina.
Speaking of Tar Heels, Christine Lilly is also in the crowd tonight. Former Breaker and obviously national team player.
As that shot goes up high. Wonder what it's like for her to come here and have that banner up. I'll never know that feeling of having a
Retired
huge
number. Yeah.
banner.
She certainly earned that. My first year with the Breakers, she was our assistant coach too, so it was great to learn under her wing. So much knowledge, obviously, of the game.
Jody Taylor gets to the ball against Washington. The cross, and Alyssa Nair snares it out of the air. Ezerike gets it to Reeves. Now a chance for Washington developing. Lindsay to Matheson.
Nice little build-up for the Spirit here.
Trying to pop it up over Nair's head, but it's offside.
Taylor looking for her 7th goal on the season, of course.
Breakers, amazingly, after today, will only have 4 home games left. Next Thursday, and then 3 in August. As they go on that 7 games in a row on the road, starting on June 22nd and ending on July 25th.
Try not to miss us too much during that break, guys.
I think they'll be okay. Foul going here on Boston at midfield. Tori Huster here for Washington. Directs some traffic. Lindsay Couldn't get her pass away as Ezerike took it away. That one deflects off of Evans. Throw in quickly by Adams. Christine Nairn. Back to Lindsay. Into the box, offside again. The flag is up. Jody Taylor.
That was a tricky look there.
Second time. Just couldn't hold herself onside. She hesitated as long as she could. She waited, but just still maybe a half second to a second early on her movement. Long range pass comes down. It was onside this time, but too much on it. Evans sends it to the far side.
Great ball there.
To Reeves at the top of the box. Reeves trying to cross it towards Ezerike. Breakers with both of the goals in the first half. 42nd minute, Katie Sheffer from Molly Pathman. 43rd minute, Courtney Jones scored unassisted, after Chantel Jones made a good save on the initial shot.
That was actually deflected by the Spirit, so that'll be a Boston throw.
National team players missing for both teams. Krieger, Harris, and Dunn for Washington. O'Reilly, Mewis, and Sanderson for Boston.
Nice win by Whitehill in the air there.
Shepfer. It's her first goal of the season that she scored in the 42nd minute.
Looks like Spirit thinks it should have been a white throw-in, but it goes to Boston. Few Breakers players warming up on the sideline over there. Can't tell who they are right now, but
Ezerike for Reeves offside. And then Reeves gets taken down after the play, but no call coming.
Zarika using her size here, and she actually gets taken down. Right outside the box there will be a Breakers free kick now.
Tanisha Adams will get the yellow card, her first card of the season.
Whitehill coming over to Jones. Here's the replay.
So the wall will be set up by the Spirit. They'll back it up. Another look look at it. Not sure about that one. I'm not a referee, though. Whitehill. It's blocked down. That was Adams.
That didn't feel good. That's a hard shot right there.
Bounces out for Jones. Couldn't get a shot off. Now Shepford quickly fires it wide. So quick with that shot and able to get a lot on it. In the 62nd minute, 2-0. Boston the lead. Breakers trying to win their third game of the season. The Spirit at 6-4-1. The Breakers at 2-8-0. Breakers just in desperate need of 3 points. Desperate need of starting a streak. Needless to say. Almost halfway through the season. And if you're looking at it, if you're a Breakers fan and you have hopes of the team turning things around and looking all the way towards August and the playoffs, of course. I know it's a long way off, but you look at it and you're 13 points out of that 4th position. A lot of work to be done, but you have to start small and hold on to this lead tonight and start working your way back up the standings. Of course, 13 points back, you think about it, and you 4 or 5 wins back, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams you have to pass in order to get there as well. Washington right now has to be happy with where they are, tied for 3rd in the league after a very tough season last year in the inaugural NWSL year. Started off this season at 2-4 before this 4 wins in 5 game streak, unbeaten in 5. And have already beaten the Breakers this year on this field 10 days ago in comeback fashion, 3-2. Trailed in the game 1-0 and 2-1. They'll play again in Maryland on July the 2nd.
A little bit of a miscommunication there. Lohman goes back to King, but kind of misses her. King does a nice job recovering.
Those are the miscommunications, though, that have hurt Boston. We saw,
Yep.
off the top of my head, I cannot remember if it was the tying goal or the game-winning goal by Jody Taylor. We had a miscommunication between Joanna
That was a
Lohman
game-winning goal, I'm
and
pretty
I
sure,
believe
yeah.
Kat Whitehill, and it led to Jody Taylor just streaking towards the goal by herself for the game-winning goal.
Yep.
So the Breakers have to be wary of doing something like that and letting Washington grab a goal and get right back into things. If you're the Spirit right now, I mean, you love the fact that you've won 3 in a row and 4 of 5. You love the fact that you're unbeaten in 5. You'd like to be unbeaten in 6. If you come back, steal a 2-2 tie, I think you have to be pretty happy with that result.
And on the flip side, I don't think the Breakers would even be happy with the tie right now.
No.
They really need to get
No
those
way.
3 points, especially at home. And like you said, only one more home game till they go on that really long stretch. So they need to put 3 points away tonight, 3 points away next week to, have hope for a postseason. It'll be a corner for the Spirit here. Taking her time there. Here we go.
Christine Nairn. Header comes out to the top of the box, played back in. And now a chance. Bounced around. It's Jody Taylor against Whitehill and can never get a shot off.
And those are just the things that the Breakers kind of need to be careful with, leaving players open like that after a corner kick when they think it's cleared and it's not. And she was kind of wide open on the box there. Obviously, she didn't score, but they need to be careful with those, not to give up any goals like that.
Good takeaway there. Played through, and Nair comes out to get it. Made sure there was no chance for Taylor. Foul goes on Boston. Play quickly restarted. Again, they go long range. Taylor and Nair will punch it out. Now to send it over Nair's head, attempting to, and comes down right at the goal line.
Yeah, quick second save in a row there.
Haverbush. Near sideline for Adams. Aaron trying to one-touch it to Lindsay, but she went the other way. Knocked down Reeves. Foul called on Washington. As we are just about 67 minutes in. Breakers in the 42nd minute. Schepfer from Pathman. 43rd minute. Jones unassisted. Jody Taylor, the only substitute in this game for either side. She entered play in the second half for Washington.
And Jones, of course, showing her versatility on this team. Obviously, like I said before, starting as a defender at the beginning of the season to a forward now as a midfielder in this game. And of course, she comes from a line of athletic family members. Her dad, a future NFL Hall of Famer for the 49ers, Brent Jones. Courtney sported his number at UNC, and even her first few years with the Breakers, number 84, I think it is.
84.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Tight end. 11 years with the 49ers, 3 Super Bowls.
Okay.
She knows what winning is all about.
Absolutely.
And won a couple of national championships
Herself, yeah.
at North Carolina. Runs in the family. He got to catch passes from Joe Montana. Slightly jealous. Julie King turning against Cuellar to get it away from her. Now to Schepfer.
King also coming from a very athletic family. Her sister played with her at Auburn, and like I was saying, a few games ago, she also went back to finish her degree and joined the basketball team. Julie King did, so she was a soccer player and a basketball player at a Division I school at Auburn. So another very athletic, versatile player in this team. The Breakers are kind of full of them, actually.
I know I mentioned Joe Montana, the quarterback for the 49ers. Of course, Patriots quarterback Tom Brady grew up a 49ers fan and idolizing. I actually don't know that for a fact, but probably a fan of Joe Montana growing up as well. So there's the Boston connection with that.
There you go.
Bianca Sierra set to throw it back in for Washington in the 70th minute. We've had a substitution.
And nice pickup by Nair there.
Dangerous situation as Jordan Angeli has come on for Washington. And Renee Cuellar. Actually not sure who went off. Double check on that in a second, but we know that Angeli is on the field for Washington. Maddie Evans getting away from Lori Lindsay. It was Christine Nairn that went off for Washington, not Cuellar.
And of course, Jordan Angeli was a former Breaker herself, so she's no stranger to Harvard Stadium either.
It's the second stint the Breakers have had at Harvard Stadium, played here from 2009 to 2011. 2 years off, and now back here in Harvard. Officially, it's Allston, Massachusetts, which is part of Boston. And Harvard, though, known for being in Cambridge. That's across the river, right down the street. And the athletic complex is over the river, not in Cambridge. So in Allston, in Boston. It's Probably more info than anyone really cares about is Ezerike turning and had that shot deflected. It stays in play for Chantel Jones. A great view from the top of the stadium. You can look out into the city, and for those of you that are familiar with Fenway Park, the Red Sox, that the Citgo sign that lights up. You can see it from our view right now out of our window. We can see the Citgo sign flashing out near Fenway Park. Jody Taylor against Whitehill, and Whitehill just bothered her enough in the way enough to let Nair go out and get it. Harvard Stadium, one of the oldest buildings, sports buildings in the country. Actually, it might be the oldest. 1903, I think, the year this place opened. Actually, maybe shorting in a few years. We get lots of comments on the way the stadium looks. It is built like a Roman Colosseum, and it is old. I'll give you that. A lot of tradition, though, inside the stadium. As Jasmine Reeves, her cross blocked down and out. Corner kick for Boston. Stadium home to Harvard football and men's and women's lacrosse. Courtney Jones will go over for the corner kick for Boston.
Also home, of course, to the Boston Cannons professional lacrosse team of Major League Lacrosse, the team I also work for.
Jones with the corner. Bounces down free there for a moment, and Gale able to clear it out. Catherine's day job, the Boston Cannons.
I'm at Harvard Stadium more than I probably should ever be, but
call this stadium. Well, I can say the same thing as
True.
well. I spend a lot of the fall and winter months here covering Harvard football and lacrosse as whistle foul goes on Boston. Spirit trying to work back from a 2-0 deficit. Scott Sudikoff and Catherine Donnelly here with you at Harvard Stadium.
Breakers looking like a much more composed unit all around tonight, offensively and defensively. It's obviously what they've been working on, especially after 2 consecutive losses, to get their momentum back, like you said, tonight and next week, their last home game for a while.
Whitehill drives it out. Comes down for Courtney Jones. For Reeves. Has Ezerike in front, but no real chance to get it to her. Numbers were definitely in Washington's favor. Kept alive momentarily.
Pretty good crowd here in Boston tonight for a Wednesday night game.
Wednesday night, and in typical weather up here, it's actually cold. Windy, chilly. Well, it's not cold, it's chilly. It's put a jacket on, you're fine, but still haven't really hit summer just yet. We had for a couple of days.
Of course, for those warm days, the Breakers were on the road at FC Kansas City.
Evans across the field to Schepfer.
Nice job by Evans switching the point of attack here. Starting something for the Breakers.
Out wide, Nikki Washington looking to serve it towards the box. Ezerike against Robin Gale. Now Schepfer with a left foot. To the keeper, Chantel Jones. About 14 minutes left in this one. Spirit down by 2. Averbush. Bounces back and forth as Enrique connects with Evans. Evans trying to head it down in the middle of the field where Enrique made a run, but instead Robin Gale plays it defensively, and Spirit try to break down the field. A long pass, Jody Taylor able to get to it. Taken away. Julie King.
Great defending there by King. The ref gets in the way of her clear.
Oh boy.
That's never.
And now at the top of the 6, Nair comes out, grabs it, and well, my oh boy was because that looked as if our head referee may have caught that ball in the place that no man ever wants to be hit. But then also it almost redirected for a chance for Washington, so it could have been a kind of a double negative if you're a Boston fan. And Washington almost caught a break. Substitution is coming on for Boston. Bianca D'Agostino is in. Katie Schepfer, with her first goal of the season, will take a seat, and she had a couple of other rocket shots on goal. One off the crossbar as well.
D'Agostino, of course, Penn State grad coming off of a ACL injury last season, so this is her first full season back.
Still working her way back in and seeing more and more time as the season goes on. She's now made a couple starts on the season as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, I said Penn State for her, didn't I? She actually started at Penn State and transferred to Wake Forest, so Wake Forest grad, that was my fault.
1 year at Penn State.
Yep.
Went from the Big Ten to the ACC. Let's go to Wake Forest. Massachusetts native, Longmeadow. Angeli down on the ground for the Spirit, as that one was towards D'Agostino. D'Agostino's usually easy to spot on the field, one of the smaller players down on the field.
Small but feisty. Very feisty.
Listed as 5'3". Maybe, maybe not. Lindsay plays it off into space. Cuellar going after it, but Nikki Washington wins the battle, at least for the time being. Gives it back up to the Spirit. And at the post there, Nair able to cover up. The 80th minute. Breakers 2, Spirit 0.
Looks like we have a sub waiting for both teams. About to come on. Can't quite tell who it is from here. Scott's breaking out the binoculars.
For the first time all year, I thought it'd be a good idea to have binoculars for these moments.
Are they working?
I also got to keep my eye on the game as well. It's as Enrique and offside.
Yeah. Courtney Jones is coming off for the Breakers.
Courtney Jones coming off. And I believe Chelsea Stewart, 17, yep. Could look at our monitor and figure that one out. And substitution for Washington as well. As I believe 36 coming out of the field is Washington's call-up tonight. Kelsey Pardue. Midfielder. Spirit trying to get on the board, and Nair got her hand on it, punches it away. Matheson. Nair comes out. Nobody there for Washington. DeAgostino gets it for Stewart. Boston will maintain possession in the 82nd minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Substitutions for both teams in the 81st minute. Entering the match for Washington, number 36, Kelsey Parker. Entering the match for Boston, number 17, Chelsea Stewart. Leading the match for Washington, number 6, Lori Lindsay.
Lori Lindsay was the one who came off for Washington for Kelsey Pardue. Courtney Jones was off for Boston. So both Breakers goal scorers have taken a seat. Jones and Schepfer. Donisha Adams. Matheson. Matheson angling towards the box. Now going back out wide. Whitehill comes over for support. Able to knock it away and cleared out. Maddie Evans trying to turn up the field.
Nice footwork by her there.
Ezerike keeps control of it, and then just too much on that touch. Knocked it out. Goal kick for Washington.
CCG is now sponsoring the official IT services provider of your Boston Breakers. As a leading New England IT services provider and an active member of the community, CCG is very happy to support the Breakers each year.
Matheson gets it to Taylor. Taylor has scored the last 3 goals for Washington on the season. Got it back to Matheson. Enters into the box. Matheson can't get a shot off as King plays it ahead for Evans. Speared again, though. Matheson sends it towards the post. Headed by Washington, Nikki Washington, and now, again, the Breakers. That 2-goal lead in the final 6 minutes of the second half. Trying to keep the opportunities limited for Washington.
Coach Durkin telling her just calm down, just try and send it forward at this point. Last few minutes of the game, just time management here.
Pardue against Stewart.
Nice little battle there.
Stewart wins it to Evans. And then Evans sends it down the field. Reeves will chase after it. Won't make it easy for Huster. And they'll call the foul on Reeves.
Last 5 minutes of regulation here, of course, before stoppage time.
Both goals for the Breakers came in the first half. 42nd minute, Katie Schepfer. 43rd minute, Courtney Jones.
Relatively quiet second half. On both sides, I think.
Spirit, for the most part, have been shut down by the Boston defense. Washington has not been shut out this season. 4 losses. They scored 1 goal in each of those games. Breakers have yet to record a shutout defensively so far. Victories of 3-2 and 4-1. So that might be the goal that the Breakers want to reach. Of course, they want the 3 points in the win, but they might also would like that that clean sheet for Alyssa Nair that she has worked so hard for this year.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, definitely.
Second in the league in saves.
She deserves a shutout.
Substitution for Boston. Kem Ezerike will be coming off the field, and I believe that's Jasmine Avant will be coming on for Boston. Avant will come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Substitution for Boston in the 87th minute. Entering the match is number 5, Jasmine Avant. Leading the match is number
So more of a, obviously a defensive approach upcoming for Boston, with Avant coming on for Ezerike in the 88th minute.
Rockland Trust, a proud sponsor of the Boston Breakers, is a community event serving families and businesses throughout
Robin Gale on the kick right now for Washington.
and we're committed to supporting our communities, customers, and colleagues. To find out more, visit rocklandtrust.com.
Comes down in the box, kept in the air. That will go wide of the post. Goal kick upcoming for Alyssa Nair. Time winds down. Breakers hoping that clock just continues to tick. They hope there's not much extra time. They are looking for 3 points at any way possible, and 2-0 win is to their liking for sure, as Jasmine Reeves will get called for a foul. A little too much pushing, going after it.
Nair calling off Whitehill there so she can get the punt in.
Breakers have already matched last year's loss total, which isn't a good stat. Well, normally isn't a good stat, unless, of course, you only had one loss a year ago. But they had 8 a year ago, 8, 8, and 6. Looking for the opposite of what happened last year. They had a lull in the middle of the season after a hot start, trying to do the opposite this year. A slow start, and now trying to pick things up in the middle of the year. And a win tonight, in their minds, could get that going. Play Seattle next Thursday here before 7 consecutive games on the road. That'll be a goal kick. We're in the 90th minute. Spirit wrap up their 4 games straight on the road at Portland on Sunday. It might see their streak of 5 straight games without a loss come to an end tonight. 4 wins and a tie in that stretch. Even with tonight's results, the Spirit will be in very good position, of course. 2 minutes of extra time.
Official has indicated that the referee will be adding a minimum of 2 minutes of additional time to the end of the second half.
Spirit will play 2 straight against Portland. This Sunday on the road, and then June 21st at home. Pathman knocks it out. It'll be a throw-in. Breakers trying to hang on to that shutout for Alyssa Nair. or at least help to hang on to it. Gale runs right into Reeves. And the Breakers try to clear it all the way down the field. Huster. Now Washington back to midfield.
Little back and forth here.
Breakers are obviously content with that. Keep the ball just bouncing back and forth, keep it away from their goal.
Yep.
Averbush gets to the ball first against Stewart. Rolls out there in the corner. As we wind down, awaiting that final whistle. And there it is. The Breakers get their first shutout of the season. Alyssa Nair, her first shutout. And the Breakers avenge that 3-2 loss 10 days ago here to Washington with a 2-0 victory tonight. Third win of the season for the Breakers, all coming here at home, and you can see the team very happy.
I'm sure they're happy she got her first shutout that she so much deserves on this season so far.
Second most saves in the league, picks up her first clean sheet of the year. Breakers' third win of the year, all at Harvard Stadium. The Spirit have their 5-game unbeaten streak snapped. Now 6-5-1 on the year. Both goals for the Breakers coming late in the second half. Late in the first half. The 42nd minute, Katie Schepfer scored from Molly Pathman. You see Molly Pathman set up this opportunity. Schepfer
Just
scores
a little
it.
toe poke there.
Scores it
That's all
by
you need sometimes.
Schepfer's first of the season. And again, another look at it. The left foot. Schepfer, her first of the year. It's all the Breakers would need, but about a minute later, Jasmine Reeves found Kem Ezerike. Chantel Jones made the initial stop, but the rebound was unkind for Washington as Courtney Jones scored her second goal of the season. And that were the 2 goals that Boston scored in this game. All they would need was one, the 2-0 victory over Washington tonight. So the Breakers now will have a week off and be back here next Thursday to take on, right now, and probably still then, the team that'll be first place. See Katie Schepfer, the goal, on 3 shots on goal, 5 shots total. We were kind of waiting for her to break out, score one after she scored 5 goals in the preseason.
Yeah.
And we saw that rocket shot on display tonight. As the Breakers, again, next Thursday will play Seattle here at Harvard Stadium before 7 straight on the road. Washington wraps up their 4 games straight on the road this coming Sunday at Portland. Then they go home to play Portland. So 2 straight against the Thorns coming up for Washington. And again, don't miss our next broadcast. You see it June the 19th, next Thursday, 7 o'clock, right here from Harvard Stadium. So again, with the victory, the Breakers go to 3-8-0 on the year, 3-5-0 at home, snap their 2-game losing streak. Washington falls to 6-5-1 overall, 3-3-0 on the road. They have their 5-game unbeaten streak snapped tonight, and the season series now evened up at 1 win apiece. So on behalf of my broadcast partner, Catherine Donnelly, I'm Scott Sudikoff. Once again, the final score from Harvard Stadium. The Breakers 2, the Spirit nothing. So long from Boston.